Hey guys, Sarah Rose Summers here, Miss USA 2018, the first ever Miss USA from Nebraska. Welcome to Bryan's channel. Bryan and I have been friends since high school. We are members of Circle of Friends in Papillion, Nebraska, and he is such a good guy. So subscribe, comment, like, all the things. I'm so proud to be his friend.
So welcome to my show.
Thanks for having me.
What we're going to talk about today is Circle of Friends.
Okay.
And my first question for you is, what inspired you to start the program?
Well, in 2010, our district was offered the opportunity to pilot the program.
Okay.
Mary Schleter, who is a teacher at Norris Middle School in Norris, Nebraska, she was working on her doctoral dissertation, and for the dissertation had written, I guess, a curriculum to start a social skills group in her school. It turned out really successful, and so they wanted to pilot the program in other districts. So the Autism Action Partnership actually gave our district a grant to be able to start the program.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
My next question comes from Courtney.
Okay.
She wants to know what is something that you want somebody to take out of the Circle of Friends? Like, what do you want them to learn? Like,
the biggest thing that I want people to learn from Circle of Friends is just to be inclusive, just to branch out and meet people that you maybe wouldn't necessarily take the time to introduce yourself to spend time getting to know someone that you wouldn't maybe otherwise spend time getting to know. I think sometimes we meet people along the way and we kind of prejudge and we think like, oh, they're weird, or I don't really understand why they do some of the things that they do. But if you take the time to get to know someone, you might make a really, really good friend that could end up being somebody that, you know, is an important person in your life.
Like when I'm just going to use an example. Like when I first met Sean and Connor, we were like, are we friends? Are we not? And now we're FaceTiming. We're doing a bunch of stuff together. So,
which is awesome. That's totally the goal of the program.
And my next question for you is, the program first started, were you nervous, or what did you expect to happen from the program?
At that time, I don't really think that we had any expectations. I think that we were just excited to give it a try. I guess maybe, you know, you need parent permission to for the child to participate in the program. And I think that it was new, maybe getting parents to say that it was okay for us to talk about their child's disability. Because, you know, in schools, confidentiality is such a big thing. So if a student has a disability, it's not my place to talk to other people, aside from other educators, about that child's disability. So I guess maybe getting parents to say, like, yeah, it's okay, you can talk about my child with the group. That was one thing that I wasn't really sure how it would go, but what we found is that we've never had a parent say no. They're always okay with it.
We're going to talk about Sarah Rose Summers real quick in the reunion. When she came to town, to Papillion South, how was everybody's experience? Like, what was going through everybody's mind?
Well, that was really exciting because Sarah was a very loyal member of Circle of Friends. What we see sometimes throughout the school year is that depending on, you know, what time of year it is, maybe students stop attending, or, you know, they just get really busy because kids are involved in a lot of things. Sarah was a member who, even if she was really busy, she still attended the meetings and the events. So that was really special for us and our group. So to see her come back and remember Circle of Friends as something that really impacted her and was something that was important to her, was really awesome for us. I had a student the other day, his name's Nick Lawver, and he is up here in our Circle of Friends group, and he graduated this year, and he emailed me just to say how much he appreciated Circle of Friends and everything he learned from the program. And one of his favorite events was actually when Sarah came to visit us
awesome.
at the high school. So I thought that was really cool.
I want to have to let her know that.
Yeah.
So my next question is,
yeah, and I still remember, I was just telling my husband this morning that you always wanted to start a web show.
And here I am.
And here you are, yeah.
Yeah. Besides Sarah coming back, have you had anybody else come back? Like, and thank you for the program?
So were you there when Natalie Brainerd was there? I don't remember. I think maybe she was after you.
No.
So she didn't come back, but about a week and a half ago, I got just an email from her out of nowhere. She's in college now at Doane, just saying like, hey, I just want to say thank you for everything that you taught me and everything that, you know, I learned being a part of your Circle of Friends group. She was also a peer aide in some of our classes. So she was an aide in my English class. And so it's just really cool to hear from former students, just hearing how, you know, Circle
like what they got out of it.
Just inspired them. And actually she's going to school to be a special education teacher now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is the difference between a mentor and a student, like a club member, you know?
Okay, so we have what we call like our focus students, and then we have our peer mentors. And so the focus students are students with disabilities, usually invisible disabilities. So that means, you know, you wouldn't typically look at a student and say, okay, that's a person with a disability. But it could be, you know, autism, it could be something like Soto syndrome. There's lots of different disabilities out there that sometimes create deficits in the area of social skills. There's a lot of learning that needs to occur for students to perform in a social setting appropriately. So there's a lot of like nonverbal things that students need to learn. And so when students have deficits in those areas, then we will identify them as a focus student. And the goal is for those students to learn good social skills through the program, but specifically through peer mentors. And so the peer mentors are students who have an interest in helping their peers, you know, gain positive social skills.
Because I remember, like, we always, like what you said earlier, we always like get together with the group, like in the morning, you know, and we always just like do like interactions, like would this person do that? Would this, you know, like to help each other out.
That's part of the program too, is the hope that our focus students not only are a part of Circle of Friends, but they could also be a part of other things within our building and have the appropriate skills in order to do so. So if they want to be a part of gaming club, or if they want to be involved in drama or band or whatever it might be, that they have the skills to be able to do so.
And that will give them time to do their other activity, and they could do the Circle of Friends as well.
Yep, and then hopefully they take the skills that they've learned from Circle of Friends and are able to apply it in those other activities.
What advice would you tell me to make me interested in joining?
I would just say that it's a great opportunity to meet new people, because that's really what it is. Sometimes when you start talking about, you know, the direct social skills instruction, and you talk about the learning aspect of it, that can kind of turn students away. But if you say like it's just a fun group that helps you make friends and get out and, you know, be involved in more things, I think that's usually what makes students want to join and be a part of it.
If somebody does want to start a program like at another school or another city, where can they go, or what can they look up to start their own program?
So I think that they could just look up Circle of Friends.
Is there a website?
I don't think that there's a website, but there's lots of materials out there.
So
there's a specific book. It's called With Open Arms. That's a curriculum that just kind of helps you get your group in place. The interesting thing is that at Norris Middle School, for example, they're a much smaller setting. So they have one student, and then that one student has their circle of friends. So one focus student to like maybe 5 peers that are specifically in their circle. Well, that's how it was presented to us when we first heard about it. But we were like, wait a second, we have, 20, 25, 30 students even who might be considered a focus student. How can we apply this in a school the size of Papillion La Vista South? And so we decided to run it as more of a club.
Mhm.
So we were able to take what she had created and make it our own by making it, much bigger. And so it's worked for us that way. So I think, if anybody was interested in it, you look at your setting, you look at your students, and you see what works for you.
Well, thank you for coming on my show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And now a special message from Courtney Shint.
Hi, my name's Courtney Shint. I had the wonderful opportunity of being a part of Circle of Friends throughout my high school years. Circle of Friends was an absolutely amazing, wonderful group to be a part of. My favorite thing about it was the relationships that I built by being a part of that group and the wonderful people that I met throughout the process of going to those meetings and really developing some awesome relationships with some great people through that group. I really loved how involved it was in the school setting, as well as going to the basketball games and going to other groups of really being part of the school and a part of the community. I think it was such an amazing experience, and that so many schools would benefit from having a Circle of Friends group to help individuals become more educated on adversity and all of our individual differences, and how we can learn more about each other and continue to love and support one another and develop great friendships and skills along the way.